Welcome back, y'all, to another episode of Spittin Hoops. Today with another special guest, our first guest that we've had off the bat. Usually we have a little intro. This one didn't need an intro. For the Lakers season preview, we got Garrett. Garrett, how are we feeling?
Feeling quite good on this NBA Media Day. My favorite piece of NBA media.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Big news. Luckily, Garrett did not decide to pull a James Harden and no-show today's podcast. It would have been very in spirit, but here we are. We're going to have to preview the Los Angeles Lakers, one of the general NBA's public's least favorite team. But, you know, you like to wear that on. Yeah, and the world's favorite. Really quick, so we'll just talk about obviously last season. We'll do some predictions. So we'll do like best case, worst case, then actual predictions. We'll do hot takes, and then we'll have a section at the end where we're just asking you questions. So
okay,
yeah, no pressure there. So really quick, obviously last year you guys got off to that 2-10 start to the season. Beginning of the season was pretty slow, some injuries. Russell Westbrook was still on the team.
He was.
Dark time. Incoming at the deadline, Hachimura, D'Lo, Malik Beasley, Vanderbilt, Mo Bamba. And going out was really only that 2027 top 4 protected pick, if I remember correctly.
I had totally blocked Mo Bamba out of my memory, by the way. I totally forgot that happened.
Well, honestly, Darvin Ham never played him, honestly.
Yeah, I know. Never saw the light of day.
Yeah, you didn't get any minutes. But yeah, so Westbrook was outgoing, Kendrick Nunn, Juan Toscano Anderson, RIP. Thomas Bryant, who has the legendary meme of trying to post up the guy on the final point.
Who left LA to get more minutes with the Nuggets behind Jokic.
Yeah. Insane. I mean, he got a chip out of it. Shout out him and Reggie Jackson of all people, escaping LA and getting
so
chips.
Did Kostas Antetokounmpo, but
So overall, I mean, you guys end up with a good end of the season, 18-9 finish to finish the regular season. You guys go 43-39 to overall. You guys win the play-in game. You beat Memphis in 6. You beat my Warriors in 6, and then get swept by the eventual champions, the Nuggets, obviously. Darvin Ham's first season, pretty good overall. Just with all that, Gary, how did you feel about last year?
I mean, obviously, as you detailed, a lot of ups and downs. It just felt like for the last 3 years, like you're entering a season knowing you're going to fail like in one way or another. It's bound to blow up. Just based on roster construction alone. So like entering this season, I'm super hyped, especially like just like after the deadline, seeing the pieces that we had and knowing that there was commitment going forward. I was just like tapped in from that point on. I mean, but it was a lot easier to root for the team when you didn't have to, watch Russ. I'm not going to say that he wasn't like a value add at times, because of course he was. He's still like, an all-timer, but not in his current form. So it was a little bit tough to watch at times. Like you're often like watching him pass up opportunities to give like an open shot to LeBron or AD and just take it to the bucket or trying one of these mid-range turnarounds that he one of these goes for no reason, like one of the lowest efficiency shots, but just like celebrating it like there's nobody's business when it's done. So I'm excited for this season. I think we picked up a lot of depth, a lot of switchable length. It's a bigger team. It's a stronger team. Even the returning members of the team bulked up over the course of the off season. I think it was like 30 pounds or something like that added between the team from last season to this season for returning members, as announced on Media Day today. But tapped in. I got the Lakers reporter on scrolling on Twitter.
You got the Twitter notice?
No, but I'm excited. It should be a good season.
Garrett, talk to us about the Lakers have been so hot and cold over the last couple of years. You referenced it. Last year, the conversation was, are they even going to make the play-in? You guys start 2-10. The sky is falling. It's like, is this one of the worst teams in the league? You have this crazy turnaround. And a lot of it is done with LeBron resting, which was, I think a big shock to a lot of people. We see Reeves kind of come into his prime, and then the playoffs hit, and you guys just kind of keep the stride going. weirdly enough, a lot of those like key rotation guys that really stepped up in the playoffs weren't guys you traded for. Like Malik Beasley, a non-factor at all. D'Lo had one great game, and that was about it. Rui, I think, was the only guy.
Matt Ryan was on the team for like 10 days and won us a game.
Dude, literally, like, can't even win a Super Bowl, but can win you guys one game.
Yeah, exactly.
And like, so how do you feel kind of going into this season with a completely different perspective on where you guys are headed versus last year?
I mean, just like name after name down the roster, it feels like an upgrade. I don't think we were weaker in any position than we were. I think, after today, we know 4 of the starting roster spots. We know D'Lo starting at point guard, which we can get into.
We will for sure.
Reeves of the 2, and LeBron, wherever you think LeBron should be. He's not really a 3, but he is. And AD. And then we don't really know if AD's playing the 4 or the 5, if they're going to start Vanderbilt or if they're going to start Jackson Hayes or Christian Wood, Torian Prince, I don't know, Gabe Vincent, if they want to go small. They have that flexibility. They have really fast lineups that they can run. They have really strong lineups they can run. They have big lineups that are actually suitable, I think, especially when you get further into the West. You got to get through the Nuggets, and you got to have like switchable wings that can keep their quick feet up on the drive. So I'm really excited about the flexibility that the roster has.
So, like, rounding out the offseason really quick, obviously AD re-signs that huge extension, which kind of interesting. We'll get to that. But a big win. Okay. But probably the most interesting deal in my eyes, honestly, this offseason. I'm a big Austin Reeves guy. I saw him cook my favorite team for a whole playoff series. But 4 years, $54 million, which was pretty much half of the estimates that some people were giving.
Unbelievable steal.
Unbelievable steal. I agree. And FIBA looked great. D'Lo re-signs 2 years, $36 million. Feels like a trade chip. We'll talk about that later as well. Rui Hachimura re-signed, so that's basically 3. You guys re-signed 3 of the guys you guys acquired last year, and Rui, D'Lo, and then Jared Vanderbilt as well. Jared, who also I believe had that another year left on his contract. Gabe Vincent though comes, which that's I think kind of a surprising turn. I don't think many of us expected Gabe Vincent to be leaving Miami after that playoff run, and now
he's one of the rumors I was hearing.
Yeah, and not only does he leave, he signs to you guys for pretty team-friendly deal. I mean, 3 years, $33 million. Torian Prince, another wing, like Christian Wood, low-risk signing, right? So I feel like overall you guys really revamped this bench. It's going back to the original championship formula that you guys had pre-Russ, where it's like, let's have 2 of our best guys and a bunch of role players. And then for some reason, someone got the bright idea that we should go get Russell Westbrook at some point,
Yeah, so that's what I'm going to say is like, I don't really think that it's going back to what we did. I think it's just like the Los Angeles Lakers front office made the decision to stop taking management decisions from LeBron on that. Like, remember, like LeBron's the one that pushed for that trade. It blew up in their faces. Mm-hmm. And, prior to that, we can't forget Pelinka built a championship team. And then at the behest of LeBron, blew it up because he wanted to chase a star that he thought could bring, more value and fill in some.
Instead of Buddy Hield, right?
Hield and Miles,
he would have fit
the other package. Yeah. I still think Miles Turner would have been a good fit next to AD. I don't really think there's been a lot of good fits next to AD over the years, but I think it just goes further to show what Pelinka's done in his role. And for all of the slander that he got in the public, in the media, after the Russ deal went down and everything blew up and it was a shit show, and there were so many people calling for his job and calling for Genie to fire him, and he just proved that he was taking orders from the star, which is what you're supposed to do. That's what you do when you get LeBron James in your franchise. You say yes to everything he says to make him happy and keep him there. But it happened at the expense of a season, which is vital when you pay for a window of LeBron and AD.
Honestly, 2 years, because last year, as much as like it was a great season, right? Like it was still like a recovery season almost from like that year and a half of absolute trauma with Russ, I feel like.
And being able to flip that around in one deadline, which is really what it was, the lead up to the deadline in one deadline, because there wasn't much done in the season before that to reverse the damage, reverse course. But besides that, I'm excited to see what bigs they can fit in next to AD. They're different styles of bigs that we've seen on the Lakers. We've seen the big immobile guards. We've seen the JaVales, the Dwights, the Marc Gasols, and
the Marcus Morrises. No, the Markieff Morrises.
Markieff Morrises, and then we've seen what is it? Montrezl Harrell.
That was I forgot
completely different play type. Yeah. So I'm excited to see somebody who can actually move their feet. And like Jackson Hayes, I know a lot of people are low on him. But I think that his movement, his quick feet could be really big in the fast break when you have AD maybe saving a little bit of energy on those fast breaks.
Definitely. Dude, yeah. I mean, I also feel like someone like Jackson Hayes, it's like, even if he's playing in the playoffs, he's probably not playing that much. Even in the regular season, if he's playing 22 to 23 minutes a game, whatever, because come playoff time, AD is playing 42 minutes of the 5.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And like you said, like a switch up of who the centers are. We always forget LeBron is 6'9", so he's Karl Malone but more athletic anyways, and less messed up. And then on top of that, I mean, we're going to see what happens with Christian Wood. Y'all took a flyer with him. He's super talented, and in a situation where he can kind of thrive in that role. You even referenced it before. They could go with Gabe Vincent and then just have a small lineup to start their game. So this is really going to be a season of having LeBron and AD. Can we keep their minutes to the low 30s? Can we have these other guys just soaking up those minutes, and then once the playoffs comes, you guys flip it into gear? So you guys have some problems to fix, but they're good problems to fix right now.
Yeah, I think the upside's so high, and like you said, we are kind of using Christian Woods on a minimum as sort of a flyer, but the Lakers have been known to do that, and it's a beautiful thing to be able to have that flexibility on that talent. We did the same thing with Andre Drummond, and clearly that one didn't work out, but you do it again because you get that level of talent in the room, and that might be the difference of winning 3 more games in a given season if you get that many offensive rebounds from him or added value elsewhere.
I mean, and let's say AD's out, like there you go. There's a guy who can slot in, who is potentially able to score 20 in a basketball game. Like it might not be a winning 20. It might not be the best way that you want it, fit in your offense, whatever. But like if AD's out, you might just need the bodies and $3 million. Like I also think, like, for example, I actually don't think Christian Wood's very good. Like whatever, but like
I agree.
even if he's not very even if he isn't really, like, even if we don't think he's very good, on the 20% chance he is who he thinks he is, then like good enough. With that, let's start with some predictions. First, we'll start, I think we usually do worst case first. This time we'll be a little positive. We'll do best case first. Anthony, we'll start with you. Best case scenario for these Lakers.
Best case scenario. Man, let me keep my NBA hat on while I talk.
Yeah, keep your journalist hat on instead of your bullshit Celtics hat on.
Hey, we bleed green, but we also bleed NBA logo here. Right. But as an NBA fan, I will say I think LeBron could maintain his All NBA stat. I mean, easily. I think he could be first team All NBA. I think AD could be a D point and an MVP candidate. I think Reeves could be considered a most improved player, although that's an odd award, I think. So whatever on that one, but like he's going to be considered one of those most improved guys. You referenced it. It's going to be a throwback to 2020. You guys are a first seed. You guys stay healthy and you guys win with your size and your defense. And some like kind of clutch shooting throughout the playoffs. So that's what I think happens. In your best case scenario, I think you guys win the chip. And then we start having some serious conversations about LeBron and MJ. So that's how I see the peak of what could happen going well.
What about you, Max?
Oh, you want me to go first? Honestly, I actually think it's like there's not even that many things that need to go right for a championship to happen here. To be honest, like AD needs to play like 60 games. Hopefully, he's done it once since he got on the Lakers. Even if he plays 55, so be it. Natural progression from Austin Reeves and Gabe Vincent. Those are both pretty young guys who can get better. D'Lo's a trade asset, whether he gets traded or not. I mean, if he's bad, he'll probably get traded. If he's good, you'll probably keep him, and he could be another like shot creator in the playoffs. So not tripping too hard there. So really, I just natural Reeves progression, no LeBron injury, and AD plays 60 games. Think things go right in the playoffs. You got a chip right there.
I agree. I mean, I also think that the Lakers are the second best team in the West, though. So perhaps that's just me being biased, but
I feel the same way, to be honest. I texted Anthony, I think this morning about this. I was like, yo, like I might be slurping the Lakers a little bit today because I think they're the best. I think they're the second best team in the West too.
yeah, I mean, I think I don't have to get into KD's form from last year, but I think the Lakers are pretty strong going into this year. I would not be surprised by a Lakers championship this year. I'm hesitant to say I think it will happen because I've been there and it's a slippery slope. But I think that they will at least reach the Western Conference Finals.
Best case.
I know. Sorry, is this not predictions or is this best case?
No,
best case.
we'll do best.
I think that's
hit us with best case first. We'll do worst case, and then we'll round it out.
fair enough. Yeah, easy. Best case is they win a championship. I don't think it's any question that AD being on your team makes you a top 7 defense if he's healthy. And I think that it's clear with the new roster that we have a lot of offensive firepower, and a lot of people you can go to when LeBron's tired and wants to pass her the ball. For a guy that's known as a distributor, I don't think he's ever had this many guys who can go out there and get a bucket after he passes to them on the drive.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all kind of agree, to be honest. It's all like just chip within reach, best case. Anthony, you got your worst case?
Yeah, I do.
This is where we might differ here. We might differ here.
Yeah, but yeah, shout out to one of the easiest best case agreements that we've had of all time.
I have a feeling our worst case might be agreeable as well.
We'll see. I think worst case, man, I struggle to even think LeBron's age shows outside of injuries. So if he's healthy, like I don't even think his age shows. But injuries, let's like kind of throw that in as an always. But like let's take the injuries out of the worst case scenario. I still think a fully healthy Lakers team could sputter in a very deep Western Conference, get unlucky with the seeding, and you lose in the first round. I respect the fact that you have this cohesiveness. I think there's a bit extra going on with the whole I'm him of Austin Reeves right now. Like, let's be real. He's a great player, but he's not like a top 30 guy in the NBA. And it's kind of wild that we're talking about him like he is. Like he's he's top 50 probably. That's great. I could totally see you guys are like a 4 seed and you play a healthy Clippers team or, a healthy Suns team that's really, really clicking. Now, I am not a Suns lover by any means, but do I think that you guys could lose to Golden State or Memphis or the Clippers in the first round? Yeah, I do think it's possible. Again, this is my worst case scenario, but that's kind of how I see it going out. But I don't see anything of like, oh, are you guys going to miss the play? Nothing like that. But that's my worst case.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that I'd agree that the worst case is AD getting hurt, but since we're barring injuries, that's just what I have nightmares about. Every time he falls, it's like a stressful experience.
And LeBron's shutting it down. Like if AD is out for the season, that's the thing. LeBron's just going to go, okay, roll it over.
Pack it in.
Yeah, roll it over next year.
Let's get Bronny out of USC.
Yeah. Player option. Oof.
Exactly.
I
think that's the worst.
Yeah, Garrett, real quick. Let's add that to the worst case scenario.
Player option.
Yeah.
Player option. Uh-oh. What's happening, bro?
And he's like, peace out. Yeah.
I don't think he'd leave AD high and dry like that. I hope. Maybe.
But yeah,
that's Spring Hill Entertainment money's big.
Yeah. What's your worst case, sir?
I think they could lose in the semis, the Western semifinals. I think there's some good teams out there in the West. I don't think there's any real contenders to come out of it outside of Denver, LA, and Phoenix. I'm sorry, Max. I think the CP3 experiment is going to fail miserably.
That's cute though. That's cute.
But hey, the Warriors have proved us all wrong before. So, and you know what a Clay guy I am. So, I'm with you.
You should be more of a Steph guy. The second best player in the league.
I will be if he's on Team USA, like he said today.
Oh, he will. Don't worry. Our star follows through on things he says.
He also follows LeBron there.
Yeah, LeBron called him up. Yeah. I'm sure Steph wasn't thinking about it independently. Anyways, though, I kind of agree with y'all. I kind of agree with y'all. I do think though, like, there is a scenario like we just discussed where like AD's out for the season and LeBron's just like pack it in, you guys missed the playoffs or something. Like, I'd be super skeptical, but like, that is possible. If you guys are fully healthy, though, I don't really see a situation where you guys lose. Like, the thing is, the seeding could go terribly, and let's say the Nuggets end up as like the 4 seed and you guys are the 5 seed, and that's a first round matchup. That would suck, right? But like, I don't really see you guys being outside of the top 5 seeds if you guys are fully healthy. Even if things go terribly wrong, that's kind of where I see it. And also, like, seeding wise, there's not going to be this full first half of the season where you guys are just shit, to be honest. So
yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's like kind of what feeds into my prediction is like, barring injury, I think the Lakers will win. They proved that before, in 2020, and I know I've been a bit of a Heat, secret Heat fan over the years for what they've done to the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. But we do have that connection over there with Pat.
Yeah, congratulations on your great connections with beating the Celtics. I love it so much. All right, I want to hear what you think overall. What's going to happen with the Lakers? We've talked about the highs. We talked about the lows. Where do they end up?
I do think they win if they're healthy, but I realize that if we take out that qualifier and average it out, I think it would be the Eastern or the Western Conference Finals. But I would say I think that we have the weapons that we didn't at our disposal last time against the Heat, against the Nuggets. So I think we can throw bigger lineups at them, more switchable wings. I think one of our problems was containing MPJ. As we had to send bigger people towards him, we couldn't rotate towards Jamal. Jamal was just like cutting up everybody. Obviously, he was just unbelievable on that playoff run, but we just absolutely couldn't stop him. So I think that with Taurean Prince added in, Jared Vanderbilt, LeBron, even AD if he has to switch on. We have a number of people that are have the length now to combat the taller shooters that they have.
Valid. Yeah. I mean, I'll give my prediction. I kind of think that's the right way to put it. I'm not gonna lie, if they're fully healthy, it's gonna be tough to beat. But like, if we kind of take the averages of the injuries, probably Western Conference Finals, right? I do think if this team matches up fully healthy against the Nuggets, I probably pick this team to beat the Nuggets, even though the Nuggets just swept them. I know that's like some crazy Nuggets disrespect off the rip, but I really think Reeves is a lot better than what he was last year. Even just in FIBA, from what we've seen, like he's nice, and I think he fits perfectly. I think there's a good chance that if you guys don't view yourself as championship contenders or as a team that can compete with the Nuggets, that you'll move that D'Lo contract. Because if you guys think you guys are that close or that good but aren't better than the Nuggets, that's getting moved for the 2029 first that I think you guys didn't end up moving last year, which could fetch a pretty huge return. I mean, 2029 first and Rob Williams, of course, just got Drew Holiday. Not saying that would happen again, but like, I think there's a lot of routes. It's tough because we have, like, if we're saying the overall prediction, we do kind of have to factor in injuries. Like, yeah, I'd probably even it out to like Western Conference Finals, but I think the Lakers probably should have the best odds to come out of the West, in my opinion. And again, I know that's some insane Nuggets disrespect, and I feel bad for anyone who's a Nuggets fan who might be listening to this. But I just really
a lot of people are Suns fans saying the same thing, but
don't
belong as well.
No, the fact that you mentioned the Suns are a bigger contender than the Warriors, though, I can't get behind that. That's for another podcast. You're worried about a team that has Steph who just came off his best season of all time?
I'm worried about a team that I don't know what the CP3 fit. That's it. I don't know how that looks on the court.
All right. I know how it looks. It looks fucking amazing. Okay, that's what it's
I'm
gonna look
excited.
like. Anyways, that's where I see the Lakers going. No Warriors talk today.
No,
Please.
fair enough. And you know what? That's what happens on this pod. Sometimes we get a little bit passionate. Sometimes the NBA hat comes off and the Warriors hat comes on. Sometimes the NBA hat comes off and the Celtics hat comes on. My Celtics hat will stay off for my prediction. Um, Look, Austin Reeves said it, I think today, right? In media day, he was talking about all of those games that you guys lost. Yeah, it was a sweep. Let's be real. It was a close sweep. The games were all close in the fourth quarter. So thinking about how cohesive the Nuggets are, they've had years now together. Now this is what the Lakers get. You get a repeat of what 2020 kind of looked like. You get your two stars. You get your guys who are going to make big shots at big times. And I do think that they make it to the Western Conference Finals again. And here we go. Now it's these fourth quarters. And instead of losing all four of them, you still lose four, but you actually win two. So you still lose, but you lose in six. So congratulations. You don't get swept in the Western Conference Finals, and enjoy your Final Four tickets. So that's where I think the Lakers go realistically. Again, if they win, I'm not going to be overly shocked. I think this also has a little bit more for personally where I'm coming with the Jokic slurping a little bit right now, where I just think he's on another level. I think Jamal Murray gets his first All-Star this year. And so I think that team is just so cohesive where it's like a buzzsaw running into another buzzsaw. But could they win? Sure, totally. I could see it. But I'm going to put them right back at Western Conference Finals like last year.
And I do like that matchup. And I think particularly this season, I know going into the last season, the news coming out of this, Lakers mini camp that LeBron runs every year was this Austin Reeves kid is really good. Like he can hold up against, NBA first starter level talent. And the news coming out of this mini camp is everybody saying Anthony Davis looks unbelievable. And from all the reporting I've seen, it seems like he's been in the gym more so than any other offseason, which has been mainly him traveling and posting pictures on Lake Como. It seems like he's like really been posted up, like trying to grind and get back and beat the Nuggets. It seems like it's like the cornerstone of what they're building this season, is trying to avenge, what happened last season. So I think between that, the Austin Reeves jump that we've seen, the confidence that he's gained being on a Team USA and being trusted with the ball as a starter, as a closer, as a ball handler, as a scorer, as a defender, which, we can talk about how they attacked him and whether or not that's going to translate. I don't think it will. And the Rui growth, I think there's all this news about Rui being mentored by LeBron, practicing with him all offseason, going to all of his workouts and really just being under LeBron's wing. So I think that could translate to a pretty big jump for a young guy like Rui with so much potential. And we saw what he did in the playoffs last year. So really excited. I think that might take the Lakers over the edge when it comes to the Nuggets. And I think if you can make it out the West, you can make it out the East.
Do you think I agree with that, first of all. Do you think the Nuggets are the hardest stylistic matchup for you guys? I mean, of course, like they have Jokic, they have Jamal Murray, etc. Like it's going to be tough no matter what. But do you think that is truly your toughest matchup in the West? Genuinely curious.
In the West, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think the only other team that may be a challenge for the Lakers more so is the Bucks.
Yeah, I guess they also have like a team that's like, in terms of the balance. Yeah, like there's something scary about that balance, and like you have like Giannis and then Dame just stretching that floor completely, and like we said, like Reeves, like you said, sorry, Reeves is not that bad defensively. He's not as bad as defensively as he was when he was hunted in FIBA, right? Like that's not a thing, but like when a guy like Dame is on the perimeter, and Giannis is on the inside, it doesn't matter how good defensively you are. Like, I don't know.
I just think Giannis is going to have a major year. Master class of the year. And he's just going to, dominate the MVP conversation. I don't think Jokic wins this year. I think Giannis wins. And I think AD gives him a run. I think we're going to get one of the best Anthony Davis seasons that we've seen. I wouldn't be surprised about 28 8.5.
I mean, when he was healthy last year, that was pretty much what he was putting up, right? Like
He was like
I don't
20,
know.
what,
When he was fully
26
healthy.
and 7? Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it's amazing. With that, okay, that's our predictions. Honestly, pretty unanimous across the board. Basically, like best case chip prediction, Western Conference Finals, begrudgingly, and then like, except for Anthony, not begrudgingly, but and then the worst case, first or second round exit. With that, we're gonna move to the hot take section. This is where we just get to fire off hot takes, react to them. They don't always have to be right. They could just be fun. Why not?
I got a
Hit us with it, Anthony.
I would love it if the Celtics get to play the Lakers in the finals. I would.
That would be amazing.
Fact, I would love it so much. Our youth, our defense, our size, our shooting. It would be Celtics in 5. I would be so happy. I would fly, I would drive, I would walk over to New York to hang out and just have a good time. I'd invite you up to Boston for our championship parade.
And I will not be there.
Well, you won't be there because no, I'll pay. No, I'm not going to say I'm going to pay for your ticket, but I'll happily invite you
to watch the pain,
to watch some greatness happen. So that's a. You know what? We're on the hot take section, right? So that's not a hot take. That's just a take. Anyways, that's. I didn't hear any Celtics talk going on in some Eastern Conference competition, so I had to weigh in. I do have other different hot take. I don't even know this is really a hot take. I don't see a LeBron fall off. I don't. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think he's still top 6, 7, 8 players and can be the best player in the league on any given night. And I'm really, really excited to see how he plays. So I know there might be some, there's always talk about like, when's that cliff coming? When's that cliff coming? I just think he takes way too much care of himself. And anytime this man knows that he has a chance to win a chip, he is so excited going into a season. He just plays out of his mind, thinking about 2020 when he was second place in MVP voting, averaging 10 assists per game as a small forward or power forward. He was listed as point guard, but I could totally see one of those seasons where he's just energetic, going crazy. So I am looking forward to seeing that. What do you think?
Valid. I mean, Domar, what do you think?
I mean, I could definitely see it. I mean, I think we saw a little bit of a step back last year, just from a numbers perspective, but it wouldn't be surprising to me if he sustained that for a few years. I wouldn't think he'd be jumping back to where he was in 2020 or 2021. But I could definitely see him sustaining this level over the next 2 or 3 years. It wouldn't be surprising to me. He keeps up with his body and his PT and his recovery at such an incredible like league industry standard. So yeah, that would not be surprising to me at all.
Yeah, I mean, I want to react to that first take. I actually have a hot take that I think the Celtics should be, like, we'll get to the Celtics preview later. I think the Celtics should be able to get out of the East pretty easily by the roster construction, but I actually do think the Lakers are in a really poor matchup for them just because, I mean, AD on port, like the AD Porzingis stuff is not fun, and I'm also barely a believer in the Celtics paint defense. I know Horford is amazing, but he's gonna be a year older. Whatever. I just think the Lakers are like not a good match for the Celtics. But yeah, I don't. I actually,
I would just say on paper, the Celtics were supposed to get out of the East the last 3 years, and they didn't. So show me, and I'll believe it.
Well, all right. This is a Lakers podcast.
There's nothing more Lakers than Celtics slander.
I guess we're really in tune with that.
I'm keeping the hat on. I'm keeping the hat on.
I'll piggyback off Anthony's LeBron take though. I don't think LeBron will get worse as an NBA player, but I think his stats may suffer just due to the Lakers being better. You got more guys who can handle the ball, who can put the ball in the basket. It's not like, hey, LeBron, if you sub out right now, we're about to put in Wendell and Gabriel or Lonnie Walker. So I kind of think by nature of that, LeBron's going to score sub 25 points per game this season. But that will not be a reflection of how good he is as a player. And that's kind of where I see it.
I could see him going back to that 2020. I think it was 2020 or 2021. We had that season where he led the league in assists just for the first time in his career, where he just takes on more of a playmaking role, and just sits back and lets some of the younger guys that they just got and has them run the floor, and he just acts as a distributor. I think that could be, one of the greatest passers of all time, leading the break. And we haven't put the ball in his hands nearly enough in the last 2 years, splitting it between Russ and D'Lo and Alex Caruso at times. When
Legend.
You got LeBron there, use him. I mean, he's not working that much off ball.
Yeah, I mean, he's no Steph Curry. I had to. Anthony, do you have a hot take?
I don't know if I have necessarily more of a hot take. I do have a question for you, Domeyer. I want to test your knowledge. So let's say that Max's hot take comes true, which is that LeBron averages less than 25 a game. Do you know the last season that LeBron did average less than 25 a game?
Oh, we're gonna do an early quiz. Usually we do the quiz at the end. This is kind of spicy. I know this actually.
Was he a Laker?
I'm not going to answer.
I kind of think it was his second year as a Laker. 2019.
Close. It was 2004. It was his third year.
That's not right, Anthony. But he scored 25 a game. No, you're right, but I meant like it's not right. Like what you just did. Oh. you said it's close 2004. No, but he scored 25 a game in 2020 though.
Okay.
And 25.3 in 2019. But yeah, the last time he scored sub 25 was his rookie season, if I'm reading this correctly. So pretty good guy. I actually have a hot take here for y'all. I think the Lakers will have 4 15-plus point per game scores in the regular season this year. AD, LeBron, Reeves. Reeves scored 13, so I think he'll jump up to like 15, 16. And then I think one of D'Lo or Gabe Vincent is going to score up to 15 this year. And I'm going to piggyback that off another hot take. I think Gabe Vincent is going to be starting for this team by Christmas time. I think he is substantially better than D'Angelo Russell. I think he can run an offense better. He's more in tune with what a team does defensively. And he's not afraid to shoot, but he's also not taking necessarily ball stopping, possession stopping shots. He did do a little bit of that in the regular season, I will say that. But like come playoff time, we really saw what he was about. And I'm really high on this Gabe Vincent addition. But also that said, if Gabe Vincent is not everything that I'm hyping him up to be, I think D'Lo will then probably just have the opportunity to score at least 15 a game. So
I like the take. I would say that probably not going to be D'Lo. I know he was the third highest scorer, last year. I don't think that he's going to get the minutes. I think he's going to start. I don't think he's going to close. I would be surprised if he got serious playoff minutes. I think you're probably right. Gabe Vincent's going to be a big add. I'm hesitant to believe that he's going to be that offensive, firepower that he was in Miami. I hope it's the case. But just I've been burned before by believing that shooters coming to the Lakers are going to, maintain their 3-point averages when they enter Staples Center. But I'm very excited to see what he brings to the team. I think especially defensively, just being a point of attack defender, that's something that we're probably not great at. We can cover up some of those wounds with AD backing you up, but I think that he's going to bring something that not a lot of our guards can on the defensive end.
Yeah, totally agree. I mean, I think he's like super nice, to be honest. Like, I don't know. I might be more hyped. That might have been my favorite free agent signing of a team switching teams from this offseason in terms of like fit and everything, to be honest. So
we'll see. You're right.
Yeah, I mean, as seeing what he did to us in the playoffs last year, like I'm not happy that you guys got him. and for that price too, 11 a year is crazy. So, and I think good begets good. So hopefully, him shooting well on a good team maintains good on another team. Maybe not a Malik Beasley's kind of situation where you were on a crappy team, you're shooting well, and then you leave. So, Domar, you have any hot takes for us?
Ooh, I feel like I fired off a number out of this, section of the show, but I think the Bucks come out of the East. I think the Heat could still make a run, even though they don't have all the weapons that they had. I know they've been kind of gutted when it comes to role players. I still think you just can't count out the Miami work ethic and scheme. They've shown that they can put in lower value, lower talent players into that system and produce consistent outcomes. And I think there's a lot to be said about that. So I think that they could very easily make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And that might be spicy, but that's also maybe my Celtics prejudice and seeing an open spot out there.
Damn, that's pretty spicy. I'm not gonna lie. But fully plausible. I can't hate on it too much.
Well, we've seen some inconsistencies in playoff series out of that Celtics core,
Yes.
and they've clearly got a lot of talent, and they added to it with Drew. I think it's going to be a much better setup, and I'm excited to see what you guys can put together. Wenyen Gabriel, what a steal! I can't say enough about what a roster piece he is.
7 foot.
Yeah, he's a 7-footer according to Woj. No, he's great. Switchable wing. That's a value piece here.
Definitely.
It absolutely is. Domeyer, just kind of before we wrap up, I want to ask you a two-parter question. Max, if you got any questions too. My first part of my question is, can you give us your initial Lakers fandom experience? What was going on? What was happening?
I guess my earliest Lakers memories are really watching the 2009, 2010, Lakers, and watching the series against the Celtics, and getting to see the highs and the lows over those years. I think numerically there were more highs than there were lows during that period, but no, I don't know. There was a lot of family parties where you get together with the extended family and friends, and some people are diehard Lakers fans and other people are peripheral Lakers fans, and everybody kind of comes together. So it's hard to say how big the Lakers are in Southern California. I think I was telling a friend out here in New York that I think New York's a football city, arguably a baseball city for the Yankees. I think Chicago is a baseball city. I think LA is a basketball city. It's undeniable when you walk around that city how ingrained the Lakers are into the fabric of the city. So it really is the team for California, for Southern California at least, Max. And arguably the biggest sport team in the world. So having that be close to home, it makes it very easy to be a fan, especially growing up watching Kobe and bringing titles and Powell and all the killers of that era.
Absolutely. On that note, I want to hear, what is your all-time Lakers starting five? Now, this does not have to be the best players who have donned the jersey. This can just be kind of who do you want to see collectively on
my favorites?
Yeah.
Oh man. Nick Van Exel.
Shannon Brown.
Shannon Brown. Nick Van Exel. Lit. Go on.
Nick Van Exel. I feel like I'm off to a hot start.
Let's go.
I'm gonna say Lonzo.
Oh, he was so
I was
fun.
such a Lonzo head growing up. Just in this era at the three, I'd go LeBron. LeBron's been elite to have as a Laker. He's been so electric to be able to watch in your own team's jersey. So that's been kind of pretty cool. Especially when you get all those, crazy names up in the rafters of staples. in crypto.
That one still hurts, I know.
Yeah, still has. To add James up there is going to be pretty cool. So he'd be my 3. It's hard for me not to go Powell. And I would have to say Shaq.
It's a good squad.
Damn.
I mean, there's so many to pick from. It's just it's hard not to miss,
Damn. No Sasha Vujacic, no Jordan Farmar?
No deep pulls, no.
No deep pulls. I'm trying to remember. There was some Robert Sacre or something.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. For some reason, that was like the time where I also like 2007 to 2009 is also when I started watching basketball. So I just have these like random Lakers players like in my mind from that time and just like
Farmar
too. Yeah, Farmar. Yeah. But one of my favorite plays growing up though, I mentioned Shannon Brown. Do you remember the play where Shannon Brown like they didn't count it, but he caught the guy's dunk in the air and then they called like a goaltend or something? I was watching that when I was a kid and I would like wake up every morning and be like, that's gonna be me.
Yeah.
And then I was 5'7", but then
That's
like
tough.
but like
you're more Derek Fisher.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's more Nate Robinson, but
More
yeah, but well, with that, is there anything else you guys want to cover? Any other questions you guys want to throw out there?
Rob Pelinka, Executive of the Year. That's the one award that I care about. The one award that matters. I don't give a shit about Defensive Player of the Year. I've been on the Anti-Defensive Player of the Year award for so long.
Since Marcus Smart won it?
Yeah, well, no, before that, but that certainly didn't help the case. Not even the best defensive guard in the league, and you're gonna unbelievable. I'd rather see Drew Holiday with it, but now that he's a Celtic, I don't know if I can even have that take. No, I think that's really it. Rob Pelinka, Executive of the Year, and let's hope that AD finally gets his due with the Defensive Player of the Year, considering he's the best defensive player of the decade.
See if he stays on the court for 45 games. Anyways, with that, Garrett, thank you for joining. This was fun. Lakers. Now we have a little season preview to look back on when we're all wrong with our predictions and something totally different happens. So, yeah. Anthony, take us away.
Super excited. Yo, Delmeyer, thank you so much for coming on to our podcast. Love you, buddy. Thanks for your insight. Very, very excited to match up against you guys during the regular season. And to our loyal fans, viewers, subscribers, listeners, we'll still be here. This will be up in a few days. And until then, we'll just be chilling here. Spittin' Hoops as always. Peace.
Thanks for having me.